A nationwide drug overdose epidemic, friends and loved ones dying every day. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Today we reveal a potential solution that advocates say is already working.
This was more effective than we even really anticipated it being.
Plus, a pet in public or a medical necessity.
How often do you get questions about service dogs?
Oh, this is a hot topic.
We clear up confusion and reveal how some states are tightening the leash on people who abuse the system.
And sometimes you have to break something to create a masterpiece. How this couple is sharing their talent with the world.
It's amazing, isn't it, Ed?
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV+.
Chilling calls chronicle a crisis.
Custer County 911.
Brother Hunter, you got room 202.
What is wrong with your girlfriend?
She's not responding.
Drug overdoses.
She's not responding?
No, ma'am.
Is she breathing?
Killing more than 250 Americans on average every single day.
911. Are you ready to come to my house? I came home and my parents are not waking up.
About 75% of drug overdose deaths involve opioids like fentanyl.
Don't hang up.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Go.
These are just 2 calls from one South Carolina county over a 24-hour period. On that day, 11 people overdosed, and 4 of them died. Now there's an innovative solution taking shape across the country.
Reporter Heather Graff has this new approach in hopes of saving lives.
You'll find them outside fire stations in Washington, D.C. This one sitting right next to a typical vending machine that dispenses drinks. But before we explain what makes it so different, let's first take a look at how we got here.
I've been doing this work for 30 years.
Angela Fullwood Wood runs a nonprofit, federally qualified health center known as Family and Medical Counseling Service Incorporated.
We provide a comprehensive harm reduction program. And so for us, that program includes syringe exchange services. It includes the distribution of Narcan, of fentanyl test strips. It also includes linking people to medication-assisted treatment if they're interested in starting to decrease their level of use.
She feels those resources are critical, especially after D.C. saw 448 opioid-related fatal overdoses in 2022, 96% of those involving fentanyl.
We're very scared. We're afraid, that the death rates will continue to go up.
So as the opioid and overdose crisis evolves, Angela knows their response must evolve too. And she says the so-called harm reduction vending machines are a new tool intended to provide low-barrier access to potentially life-saving supplies.
And I think that everybody is not ready to walk into a traditional health environment and ask for Narcan. We see it as one more strategy to get Narcan to the residents to keep them safe.
Through a partnership with the D.C. Health Department, Angela's organization placed the vending machines in neighborhoods with some of the city's highest overdose rates and then stocked them strategically. With the opioid overdose reversal medication Narcan, plus fentanyl test strips, and other items focused on health and wellness.
We include male condoms, female condoms, hygiene kits, Band-Aids, COVID test kits.
All of it funded largely by government grant money and available for free, anonymously, and 24/7 to D.C. residents.
Once you call that number and press the number 3, it will give you an access code that would allow you to dispense items from the machine.
When we met Angela, they were just about 1 week into this year-long pilot program.
We vended about 95 items thus far.
95 items in about a week's time.
Right.
How significant is that to you?
I think it's very significant. I mean, I think, it's a pilot program, and when you start a pilot program, the one thing you don't know is if it's going to work, or if the interest is going to be there. I think the early interest tells us that there is a need in the community.
And it's not just here in the nation's capital. In recent years, we've seen the harm reduction vending machines rolled out in several states, including Michigan, Missouri, New York, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Ohio.
The first machine ever in the United States was in Puerto Rico in 2009. Then Las Vegas had a machine in 2017, I believe, is when they installed theirs.
That's Daniel Arendt, an assistant professor and doctor of pharmacy at the University of Cincinnati, who's been studying harm reduction vending machines since this one deployed in his city back in February of 2021.
And then Cincinnati was the second metro area in the continental U.S. to have a machine.
Cincinnati's was set up by a nonprofit called Caracal, and similar to the vending machines in D.C., it's filled with a variety of harm reduction products, dispensing 3,360 doses of Narcan and 10,155 fentanyl test strips in just the first year.
We directly compared how much distribution of naloxone, fentanyl test strips, and things like that were given out through the Caracal organization the year prior to the vending machine and then the year of the vending machine. And we saw drastic increases.
And by year 2, Arendt says periodic surveys of the people using this vending machine led to another eye-opening number.
We've already had over 1,600 overdoses reported to have been reversed in our patient population specifically.
This, says preliminary data from the county where Cincinnati is located, shows overdose deaths there dropped 16% from 515 in 2021 to 433 in 2022. Do you think this machine is saving lives then?
I do not know what proportion of them have been saved by this vending machine, but what we can say overall is that through detecting fentanyl and through having overdose reversal agents around, lives have been saved as a direct result of the vending machine.
Ultimately, Arendt's research, published in the Journal of the American Pharmacists Association, concluded that the harm reduction vending machine in Cincinnati has had a sizable impact.
This was more effective than we even really anticipated it being.
And though Angela, back in Washington, D.C., was not surprised by that assessment,
It makes sense to me.
she is encouraged and believes even more cities and states could soon follow suit.
I know that it's picking up nationally. We do participate in national calls around this. I think the sky's the limit in terms of where you can put them based on what's happening in your community.
In D.C., you saw the harm reduction machines are set up outside fire stations. They say that's to try and help with oversight and prevent vandalism. We're told the machines also have technology built in that can regulate temperature and monitor inventory levels. It keeps track of product expiration dates and alerts staff when any action is needed.
Still ahead, in an emergency, every second matters.
A lot of places in the reservation, an ambulance may take an hour or an hour and a half to get to you.
But for this rural community, a solution is taking off. How first responders are using drones to save small towns.
Plus, a cute companion or working animal. Service dogs at the center of a debate. We clear up some of the confusing terms.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes. According to the State Department's Share America program, there are approximately 500,000 service dogs in the U.S., and they're legally allowed to go anywhere with a handler, with a few exceptions, like places of worship and pools.
It's a right granted by the Americans with Disabilities Act, but the same law that protects people with disabilities can be used in a dishonest way.
Reporter Angie Riccono reports from Lawrence, Kansas, where police were called to a hotel over a service dog.
He's absolutely the best dog I think I've ever had.
Meet Dominic Helveston and Diesel. They are pretty much inseparable.
Oh, you see a baby.
Helveston contacted us after a recent stay at this Super 8 in Lawrence. The hotel is pet friendly, but things became less than friendly the next morning at breakfast.
They told me he couldn't be in there, and I was like, no, you don't understand, he's a service dog. And I said, no, he can't be here because the manager's allergic to dogs.
Eventually, police were called. Helveston agreed to leave. The hotel smacked him with an extra $100 fee, keeping deposit, bringing dog into breakfast area.
I said, he's a service dog. Yeah, but the manager has rules. Okay. So does the government. Sit. Now, thank you.
Diesel has an ID badge. Halveston considers him a true service dog with rights.
I just applied for it, and sent all his credentials, and it came in the mail.
I'm signing up. It's pretty easy to go online, click, and certify almost any dog. You receive a badge and even a vest. Some websites even provide a medical professional on their end to help you meet the federal requirements of having a certified condition. I licensed my dog Frankie online in a matter of minutes. He's housebroken. Sit. Sits on command, sometimes. Sit. Would a badge and vest make Frankie legit?
No, because it's not trained. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, it needs to be trained to do something.
Martha Gabehart is the executive director with the Kansas Commission on Disability Concerns.
A service dog is trained to help a person with a disability.
How often do you get questions about service dogs?
Oh, this is a hot topic.
He's just laid back.
Dozens of states are cracking down on what's a service dog as tensions rise. In Missouri, it's now a Class C misdemeanor to impersonate a person with a disability. It addresses false documents and outfitting dogs and vests to look like service dogs when there is no true task. In 2019, Kansas defined service, guide, and assistance dogs and made it clear the presence of a dog for comfort, protection, or personal defense does not qualify as a dog as being trained to mitigate an individual's disability, and therefore does not qualify the dog as an assistance dog covered under the provisions of this act. Complicating the issue is what you or a business can legally ask a person about what might be a service dog. The American with Disabilities Act only allows 2 questions. Is this service animal required because of a disability? What work or task has the dog been trained to perform? People cannot ask for documentation regarding the dog.
Here.
And documents are pretty meaningless, as Gabehart pointed out. There's no formal nationwide registry you can check, and no state registries in Missouri or Kansas. And you cannot ask what disability the person has.
I have anxiety issues, and I'm diabetic.
Halveston offered up information the day we met him in Diesel at a local park.
He's got his license. He has been certified. Sit.
He says Diesel was formally trained to retrieve medication if needed.
Too much going on. Sit.
We were unable to verify that claim. As for the hotel fee, we contacted Super 8 and the owner said the manager would get back in touch with us. That never happened. We also checked in with Lawrence police. They calmly resolved the situation. No one was arrested or fined. In Kansas City, I'm Angie Racono.
It's important to note there are some key differences between service animals, therapy dogs, and emotional support animals. According to the American Kennel Club, service animals must be trained to perform a specific task. That could be a guide dog helping a blind or vision impaired person navigate the world around them, or a dog trained to recognize the signs of a seizure to alert their owner to get help. Therapy dogs typically team up with their owner to volunteer at high-stress workplaces or schools to provide comfort and affection to the people around them. And emotional support animals, or ESAs, may be trained for a specific owner but not for a specific task to aid a person with a disability. ESAs are considered a companion and help ease the symptoms of many psychological disorders like anxiety, depression, or some phobias. According to the National Service Animal Registry, in order for an animal to be an ESA, it must be prescribed by a doctor.
Still ahead, an eye in the sky for rescuers.
A lot of times with hikers, when they call 911, they're lost. They don't know where they are, but their cell phone will give us a ping.
How first responders are using drones to save lives.
Plus, cutting glass and creating memories.
And we get to enjoy that. And our grandchildren can enjoy it. And hopefully our great-grandchildren.
How they're also sharing their love of art with the world.
A bird's eye view out of harm's way. Drones are quickly becoming a key component of rescue gear for first responders.
MIT Technology Review estimates more than 1,500 departments across the country use the evolving technology.
We take a closer look at the different ways drones are used across the country, all with the same goal: saving lives. During monsoon season in Tucson, Arizona, an eye in the sky looks beyond where rescuers can see. Drones now a critical part of their toolkits.
They have the ability with that camera aerial to look upstream, to look for obstacles that might be floating down that are going to create havoc on the rescue operations. Flip side, you spin it around, you're able to look downstream. If that victim were to be swept down, that drone will be able to keep eyes on them for the next rescue efforts.
The tech not just for finding victims. Tucson Fire Captain Andy Skaggs says it can carry lines across swift water to help secure rescue boats. And in summer of 2023, the department started using the drone to deliver critical items.
What that translates to is lost hiker, we could possibly carry them a bottle of water and get it to them so that they could be drinking water before rescuers get there.
Stranded hikers needing rescue, a familiar problem for the Phoenix Fire Department, 100 miles away.
A lot of times with hikers, when they call 911, they're lost. They don't know where they are, but their cell phone will give us a ping. Just recently, we found some hikers that were lost on Piestewa Peak, and we're able to locate them with a drone, guide our crews into them, and get those people safely off the mountain.
Phoenix firefighters responded to 232 mountain rescues in 2022. One of them shown here. First responders used a drone to find 8 people filming a reality TV show who needed rescue on a mountain trail.
We kept stopping, and the more we had no water, so the more that we stopped, the harder it got. I started getting really, really dizzy.
We'll always need firefighters to go out and rescue people to stabilize situations, but with the drone, we can provide an extra layer of information.
But it's more than just search and rescue in rural southeast Oklahoma. The Choctaw Nation uses drones like this to deliver medical supplies across the 11,000 square mile reservation.
A lot of places in the reservation, an ambulance may take an hour or an hour and a half to get to you.
But these drones can fly 100 miles per hour.
A lot of situations where you can't wait that long, you need immediate medical attention. So simple things like an EpiPen or simple things like an AED, getting it there before the first responder.
The Choctaw Nation says the drones can hold up to 1,000 pounds and will be used to deliver small packages across the reservation. The chief of the Choctaw Nation calls it a big development for the small community.
The sky is the limit for us. We're only limited by our imagination.
An important rule for drone pilots recently went into effect in September of 2023. The FAA says pilots must now register their drone with a remote ID. It allows the drone to broadcast its own unique ID and location to others nearby. The rule affects all drone pilots, whether used by first responders for rescues or by hobbyists for fun.
Still ahead, sometimes working with your other half can be a pain in the glass. But for this couple, it's a labor of love.
How does it feel working with your husband and then going home?
Today feels good.
How they turn their works of art into a career.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. They're free to download. Stained glass with a little bit of light. It's a work of art that can truly shine.
A South Carolina couple is putting their own spotlight on the craft, sharing their love of stained glass with the world. Reporter Lauren Korn shows us how.
That's an old toolbox. It's about 50 years old.
Creating stained glass is a labor of love.
That's what I need. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And these lovebirds have been cutting
It's actually the most important part.
and cutting it up.
How does it feel working with your husband and then going home?
Today feels good.
for 38 years.
I love it, actually.
I was making George laugh.
It's really great because we can share everything.
We work really hard.
Barbara and Ed Streeter own Conway Glass, offering restoration and repair work and a gallery full of colorful hand-blown glass creations.
We do bowls and sculpture and blown glass and stained glass windows. We specialize in ornaments. We also specialize in public art, art installations for like gardens, public gardens. So I'm putting in the little design.
This is Kokomo glass. The colors that we're using, Lauren, are colors that don't need any light to make them work.
While Ed skillfully cuts the glass,
Put a little clove oil in this.
Barbara uses a special powdered enamel to paint, one pane at a time.
So right now I'm just testing my brush size to get the stroke that I want.
When the Streeters are not making glass art,
Welcome to the RDRV Glass Channel and the live Q&A.
they're teaching it in person and on RDRV, their YouTube channel.
Yeah, welcome everybody. We got a great night lined up for you tonight.
I have met so many wonderful people from everywhere. It's amazing, isn't it, Ed? I just got a letter this morning.
You did?
Maybe we can help her.
Letters of gratitude and appreciation for an artistic skill that the Streeters hope will leave a colorful mark for generations to come.
And we get to enjoy that. And we get to, our grandchildren can enjoy it. And hopefully our great-grandchildren.
It makes you feel really good that you're doing a piece of art that people can go see, and it's going to stay there for, forever.
Doing what you love with who you love, sharing it and making some money. It's a great combination.
And I love stained glass is just so beautiful. They have some great things there. And how about the YouTube channel?
Yeah,
that was like kind of
funny.
a shocker in the story, I got to tell you. Good
It
stuff.
works for
yes.
them. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
Next time on Investigate TV Plus, an 11-year-old accused of murder by his mother.
She turns the light on with a cup of coffee, drops it, screams, said, "Oh my God, you've killed your daddy."
He felt shame for 3 decades until a break in the cold case. Find out who confessed.